Hey guys, it's your girl Pretty Monroe, and I am back. Yes, I am finally back. And I know it's been a while since I made a video, but your girl is officially back, and I'm gonna be consistent this time. So, don't forget to subscribe and like my channel. It's Pretty Monroe, of course. Um, Also, follow me on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and that's about it. So we are about to get into it. So for today, I'm going to talk about my mom. Um, excuse me, I have to fix me up. But we're gonna have a story time about my mother. She is no longer with me or my family. She passed away last year around December. It was like pretty much December the 4th when she passed away. Why did I have to think about that? I'm sorry. I just had to think about that. It was weird. I don't know why I was thinking about that like that. But anyway, she passed away around December last year, and as of today, I am still grieving, but I am okay. And if anyone out there that is going through hard times with grieving and the loss of your family member, your friend, your cousin, anyone that you have lost, deep condolences to you all. And we're gonna get started. So I don't want to get emotional, but my mom is everything to me. Like literally my best friend. She has been there since day one, and pretty much we've done everything together from shopping, talking about boys. Well, technically, I don't even talk about boys back in the day because I didn't really like boys like that. But she was like my ride or die, even though we bump heads sometimes. But, you know, it is what it is. Of course, as your parent, you're going to bump heads regardless. So, the time that I found out that she was diagnosed with diabetes, that's when she was like 32. She was like real young, real young. So, yeah. It was like the hardest thing we ever had to experience, because I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and I'm like the middle child. So of course I got spoiled. I'm a daddy's girl, but I always be with my mama most of the time. So, and of course Mother's Day is approaching, and I am feeling emotional and not okay at the moment because she is no longer here, and I know it's better that way because she's not suffering. So back to what I was saying, she pretty much was diagnosed with diabetes She was a strong woman. Like, she never showed any type of, oh, well, this gonna hold me back. Like, she always been strong. She always did what she had to do for other people. So it was never like she thought of herself, but she always thought about other people too. So she always put people first. And then, you know, whenever she took care of herself, she'd take care of herself. And I keep telling her that, like, you can do that, but at the same time, you still have to take care of yourself also. Because she was a busy woman. So it's like, it was a lot on her, but she never showed it. But I knew, of course I knew, but she just never showed it. And that's what's so crazy about her. She was so strong. She never showed no sign of weakness, especially with dealing with a lot of women at her job. So, yeah. But anyway, excuse me. When we had found out, so pretty much when we had found out, it was like the worst news ever. And I didn't know how to cope with that. But she stayed calm through it all. But it was just happening so fast, and it was just like, slow down, but at the same time, you can't help that because of, you know, it's happening. So pretty much we was being her supporter, and we was just there every step of the way. So whatever she needed, we was there. So it's like every summer she was so sick. It was like every summer she was so sick. And I was just like, oh my God. I just couldn't believe this was happening. Because she was just fine, and then the next thing you know, she was just so sick. And it's like, she was at the hospital most than being at home. And it's like, how can you even deal with that and then have an actual social life, and then have a work life, and then go home, and then she's not there? Like, that's a lot to deal with. And then on top of that, it's like, it's very hard. Excuse me. Pollen, sorry. It's very hard to deal with that. Very, very hard to deal with that. And especially when people just constantly asking you what's the problem, what's wrong with you, and why are you so not into yourself. I mean, you don't want, well, I don't want to just come out and just say, oh, you know, my mom, she's sick, and I don't want them to feel bad for me, because I'm the type of person, I don't like sympathy. I don't like that. Like, I don't like when people want to know what's going on at home. And then another person knows the same exact thing. It's like telephone at work, right? And I don't want to deal with that. So I just pretty much kept everything inside of me, which is not right. I just haven't had of doing that. And it was just too much, way too much. So I ended up, to cope my pain, I ended up doing drugs, whatever that was in sight. Not the hard stuff, like marijuana. I drank a lot. So like apparently, like, I was at the club every weekend, or every other weekend I was at the club, or I was at home drinking, or I was at home smoking, or I was out and about doing what God knows what. So I just was trying to like cope with the pain and my depression on top of that, because I've been dealing with depression since I was a child, and it is so hard. When I tell y'all, it's so hard to even deal with that. And then other stuff that's going on at home, and then you have to deal with yourself, and then you have to take care of yourself, and then you have to deal with, you know, a whole bunch of other things at once and balance it all. It's hard. And you can't tell me that it's easy, because it's hard. And I just don't in the back of my mind, I just don't understand. Like, why am I going through this? Like, where did I go wrong? What am I doing? I just couldn't even put a finger on it because of the simple fact that I was dealing with her and drinking so much to the point I blacked out. I even drove home like that, but I slept it off before I even, attempt to go out and make that mistake, because I had suicidal thoughts. I wanted to just not be here anymore. Like, I've been through that, and I know how that is, and it's just unbelievable that I am still even dealing with it, but I'm dealing with it and I'm okay. And sometimes it's just overwhelming and it's emotional and it's just crazy how everything just transpired, how everything just transitioned so fast. And like, first she was walking and the next minute she's not, and then next thing you know she's losing hair, then losing her weight. Like, she was getting smaller and smaller and smaller, because she was old. She was overweight, but it was like a constant battle with her, because she likes to eat just like everybody else likes to eat, but at the same time, like, it was never a healthy food. And she knew she knew she was supposed to eat healthy. She knew that she was supposed to eat the healthy type of food, because even my dad had it, but he had like type 2. So when he found out that he had it, he was like, okay, come on, we gotta do this together. Like, we're not, just gonna eat whatever we want. I'm talking about, we used to eat whatever we want. Like, we used to have Kool-Aid, we used to have Twinkies, we used to have candy, we used to have everything sweet. Anything sweet now, we had it. Anything from fried chicken, she cooked everything. Like, before she got sick, she was cooking everything. She was cooking spaghetti, she was lasagna, all type of pasta, all type of foods. Like, any type of food that we wanted, she cooked it. Any type of food that my dad wanted, she cooked it. Like, we always had something to eat. Like, there was no doubt about that. But at the same time, like, when both of them had it, it was just, yeah, we just got to take everything out of the house and start eating healthy and just be just what it be. So she didn't like that. She did not like that. She was like fussing a storm, telling her dad, no, I'm gonna still eat what I want. I don't want to hear that. You gonna love me for who I am. It was like, it was so funny. Like, I just didn't understand. And I'm just telling her, like, look, you gonna have to get it together. We're gonna have to do this together. I mean, we're gonna have to cut back, because it just seems like it's just gonna have to work that way. But she was just so stubborn, like me. She was just stubborn like her kids. So, and it's like we was helping her to get whatever she wanted. Like, sneaking food in the house, sneaking stuff in the house when my dad was there. Like, she always tell her, well, I'll pay you to go get this and that. And I'm like, Mom, really? Like, I'm not trying to do all that. And she'll get mad and she'll just start screaming, you remember that time that I did that for you? And I'm like, oh my God, like, no, we're not going through that again. Well, I wasn't gassing you, calling me do this for me. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But of course, my little brother, he fell for it. Because like them two, they was like Bunny and Clyde all the time. That was her baby. So of course my little brother was gonna do it regardless. So yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so it was like the hardest summers that I ever had. I tried to keep myself busy, try to keep myself occupied, try to keep my mind off of so much stuff that was like cramming my mind. It was just overwhelming, overpowering, and it was just a hot mess. Like a hot mess, and I just couldn't take it anymore, to the point where I just didn't want to be here anymore. And I just didn't want to think like that, because I'm leaving my family behind. If I would have done that, if I would have took that route, I would have left a lot of people behind. So I just didn't want to take that route. I just want to work through it and just not let stuff overpower so much of my mind, and not think so much, and not think negative all the time, and always think positive. So round up to 2018, it just got worse. Like, it got so worse. Like, I'll cry every night till I go to sleep. It was that bad. It's like sometimes I didn't want to hang out with my friends, and I just like stay with her, cause I just hate when she's hurting me. I just hate it. And it's like anytime that she is sleeping, I just worry, because what if, you know? So she was a strong woman, she was, and she, you know, was fighting for so long because she was dealing with a lot. She also dealt with cancer too, but she beat that. So she was the strongest woman I know. The strongest woman I know. And she was like my rock, like my everything. And it's like, even if I talk about it, nobody would ever understand. The simple fact, some people have both parents. I only have one. Like, how can you understand that? Especially with people with both parents. You can't understand it because you... And I'm not saying to sound cruel or anything, but people be like, oh, what are they saying? Because like when they found out about her, they was like, oh my God, they were trying to reach out and stuff. And I'm like, where was y'all when she was sick? Where was y'all when she was in the hospital all this time? Where was y'all? So I was, you know, being negative to the point where I just didn't want to even talk anymore, because I just didn't get it, because we was always there, but anybody else that was her friend, there was nowhere to be found. Like, I'll say, like, her best friend was there, but anybody else that knew her was not there. So I'm just like, don't come around just because of some fact that happened to our family. Don't just come around just because. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't care who else don't like that, but I don't like that, because I feel like that's a little fake to me. And all you could have done was at least, you know, checked up on her or whatever. If you knew, you know, if you say that was your friend, and if you say that you know, you want her to do the same, because she did the same. Like, anybody that was sick in one of her group, she went to go see them. No hesitation, no nothing. She went to go see them, sat with them and talked to them. And I don't see why it could happen the same way. But everybody showed up when she was lying there peacefully. So that's what, you know, made me angry a little bit, but at the same time, it is what it is. I mean, people gonna do what they wanna do. I can't go by or say anything about it, so I just have to cope with that. But so I'm just go to the time where she was really sick after that, and then it really got bad until one day I went to the hospital with her because my dad was at work, and she just stopped. Like, her whole everything was just, I think she was having a seizure, but it's just like her heart just stopped. So I'm like, oh my God, like I'm over there calling her name, like, mom, get up. And like, she just got in the room, because like she was coming from dialysis, and I was picking her up, and she kept telling me, she was like, babe, I just don't feel well. Like, she was just shaking so bad. It was just horrible. I was just scared and nervous. I didn't know what to do. I was driving as fast as I could to go to the hospital, because like the place where she goes to get her dialysis was like at least 8 minutes to the hospital. So she was mad close, but at the same time, like, she just didn't feel well. And you know, when you go into hospitals, they take mad long to even get you in a room. So I'm over there going across each part of the hospital in the emergency room, like asking, like, can somebody please see her, because she's not feeling well? Can somebody give me a blanket? Can somebody please help us? Like, it was ridiculous. That's why I hate going to hospital, because I feel like you have to wait to even get seen, just because of the simple fact who's sicker than who. Like, I didn't really understand that, but it was just one of those days where it was not a lot of people around, and nobody wanted to get her at that time. So I had to literally scream and talk to my mom, like, can somebody please get her? Somebody please get her. Put her in a room. Something. She over here shutting down. Like y'all just going by busy, doing busy stuff and going about your business and not even caring that it's a person right here that is sick, and y'all just doing whatever y'all need to do for other people. And I understand that that's protocol for y'all and that's y'all policy, but I'm over here like begging to even get someone to see her. And they finally got somebody to give her a room. We got in the room and she just stopped. Like it was just over with. And I was like, oh my God, I just panicked. I'm over here crying, like calling my dad, like, Dad, Mom, she just shut down, like her body shut down. I don't know what went wrong. I don't know what's going on. Like, why she's doing this? And then he was like, calm down. You know, the some hospitals have chaplains. So like they was over there consoling me, make sure I was okay until my family came. Cause everybody was at work. I was off that day. So I apparently had free time. So I was there most of my off day. And I was just like, oh my God, like I really seen this. Like she actually died in front of me and came back. Like the doctor had to bring her back. It was that bad. And they was like, she's okay. They was saying something about her blood pressure was too high and something just reacted, or when she was in dialysis, somebody poked her the wrong way or something like that. I couldn't remember. It was a while back. I couldn't remember exactly what the doctor was saying because he was really talking to my dad and I was just so out of it and I was just like so emotional. So I was just like, oh my God, like what else? Like I cannot keep going through this. Like this is too much. I just can't. So finally, she had to stay in the hospital for about, I remember the time she stayed in the hospital for about a month. Like the hospital was her home. Everybody knew her. That's how I'm saying, like that's when you knew it was just worse. Like it was getting worse. Like she was literally at the hospital every day. And it was like so sad. So sad. And it was like hurting all of us as a family, but at the same time nobody really spoke anything about it because we're not a talkative family unless it's like something pertaining to like our future or something. But like other than health and stuff, we just really cope to ourselves, but at the same time we always come together when needed. So I mean that's how our family is. But yeah, so the next, yeah, it was 2019. It was like the worst year. I don't want to cry. It was like the worst year I ever had. The worst. I just didn't know what to do, how to do it. It was just so emotional. Like it's so emotional, so depressing. Oh, what I went through. It was just crazy. But around that month in December, I was at work. It's like the, casual day at work. I normally don't talk to my dad unless it's about, a bill or two or something important, or we need to say hello and stuff, but that's about it. But that particular day, he called me. And I was like, why my dad calling me? That's weird. Because he'll never call, he'll text. Like he's a texter, so he'll never call. So the only time he'll call is like if something happened. Which primarily nothing really took place in that moment until that day he called. So I'm like, why my dad calling me? So I'm like, okay, let me answer the phone. He was like, hey, your mom has been rushed to the hospital. And I said, what happened? And he was like, well, I don't know. We just got here. I don't know. Like, it's like all he kept saying, I don't know. I just gotta figure out what's going on. He was like, I came home and she was not breathing. Well, she's not breathing, but she was like trying to gasp for air. And because usually she had like a nurse with her while my dad is away at work. So he called, like the nurse called him and told, let me scratch that. It was a day when she was supposed to go on dialysis that day, and she was at home with my sister, and then the nurse was supposed to come, but the nurse didn't supposed to come like an hour later. So she was in her room as usual, laying down, And my dad came home. He comes home and check up on her every hour, because like he's freely like that, so he get to check on her every hour. So that particular day, he just felt something like, okay, something's not right. So he went home and he found her like that, just motionless, like he was calling her, like, what's going on, like, are you there? And she could hear, but she just couldn't say anything. So he called the ambulance, and they came and got her. And he called me. He was like, hey, mom is not doing right. Like, she's not feeling well at all. It's like really bad. And I was like, oh my God, like, please don't tell me this, because like when stuff like that happens, I'm just like, okay, she's gonna be all right. And she always tell me that. She's like, I'm gonna be all right. You know, don't worry about me. You need to be, you know, doing your job, and you need to just live your life like you're supposed to. Don't worry about me, okay? Don't stress yourself over about me. That's what you tell me all the time. But you know me, I'm not gonna listen to that. So my dad called me back again. I said like 2 hours prior that day. He said, Mom is not doing too well at all. Like, they're trying their best to do what they have to do. She's not doing too well. Like, I ain't never heard him say anything, because his voice was so like he was about to cry, but he didn't want to cry. Cause like my dad, he don't cry. He only cries when it's like a family member passed away or something. That's the only time I see him cry, when his brother passed away. But he never cried. So, but I knew in his voice that something was wrong, like something was not right. So I was like, oh my God, like I gotta get there. So he called me again. He was like, they had to put Mom on life support. And I was like, what? I was like, they had to put her on life support? Like, come on, like, this is too much. I'm at work bawling my eyes out. Like, I can't lose her at this moment. Like, she was someone that I can confide in, especially when she was sick. She always had advice for me throughout my life, especially what I wanted to do with my life, especially what I want to do with my career, my future. Like, she always been there for me. She always tell me who's not right for me in my life, who's not truly my friend. Like, she always been so real with me, and it's never ever phased me throughout my life. Being with her, she always been there. So it was just like, how do I even cope with her not being here anymore? How do I cope with her being somewhere without me? How can I cope with that? How can, you know, I don't know what to think. Like, she just like gone. Like, I don't know how to think, what to think, how to feel. It was just so many emotions. Like, I just didn't know what to do. And the doctor told my dad that she was brain dead. Like, her whole brain was not functioning right. Like, all of her blood rushed to her head. To the point where she can even do nothing, say anything. I'm sorry. She can't even do anything. She can't even say anything. Like, she can't even say, not even I love you, or anything. Like, y'all don't understand how much I miss her. Like, it hurt me so bad. Like, have you ever missed somebody and it hurts? That's how I feel. And it's like so emotional, so depressing. And I'm like trying my best to just do what I can to make her proud. Like, I just don't. I just felt so lost. I felt so lost. I felt so hurt. Like, how are you supposed to feel? Like, I felt hurt. I was so hurt, like I was heartbroken. Like I got my heart broken when he told me that. And then the day of, the day of the funeral, it was so emotional. Like I just can't even look at her. It was just like I just couldn't believe that was really her, and right there, like just not moving, like my own mom, bro. Like I don't even know what to say anymore. Okay. I literally bawled my eyes out because I didn't know how to feel at that moment. I didn't know. I just never ever experienced that a parent, you know, because you're so used to her being there, and it's like, how can you feel like I'm just lost. Like I'm so lost. I just don't know. I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do, how to do it, because she's always been there, and it's like whenever I need something, she's there. And it's like after she left us, like my family, we talk, but we barely even speak like that. Like we'll say hello, see how we're doing with each other, but like check up on each other, but like as conversations about her, we barely talk about her, because it's like we hurt. Like we all are hurting because like we were so close. Like my brothers, my sisters, my dad, my mom, like we was all close, and like we did pretty much everything together. And it's like, how do you feel? Like, and it's like a emotional roller coaster, pretty much. It's like an emotional roller coaster, and I'm dealing with it like every day. It's like grieving and then having a whole relationship with somebody else, with your significant other, and it's like hard. It's so hard. It's like you just want to just throw it away and just be in this bubble, but you cannot do that because you're neglecting them, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to make them feel like they were the reason for you acting this way, you know? So sometimes I just wish I can go back and tell her I love her more, you know? Like, she knew that I love her, because I say it all the time, but, you know, that last moment where it would have been, you know, speaking to her before she even left us. So, yeah. But, rest in peace, Mom. And I appreciate y'all for listening and seeing my sad tears. And I am still dealing with this to this day. So if anybody out there that is dealing with a family member or a friend or whoever that passed away, my condolences, and you are in my prayers. And I just pray that you are all well and healthy and love one another, because you never know. So don't forget to like my channel and subscribe. hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on, and also follow me on social media. And I am out. Thanks for watching.